William Shakespeare was born in 1564. His father was a local glover and mayor of the town of Stratford-upon-Avon, where William was born. William lived in a time of tremendous instability. The Protestant Reformation threatened devout Catholics like his parents, while riots, wars, and plagues threatened the whole of England and its new queen, Elizabeth. In times of crisis, people turned to the playhouses, both to forget their problems and to understand them. Romeo and Juliet was one of Shakespeare's first conspicuous successes. When he wrote the play in 1594, he had already achieved success in the theater, but Romeo and Juliet is one of the first plays from which Shakespeare got a positive review from his critics. As Plautus and Seneca are accounted the best for comedy and tragedy among the Latins, so Shakespeare among the English. Witness his Midsummer Night's Dream, his Love's Labour's Lost, for tragedy, his Richard III and his Romeo and Juliet. Francis Mirez, Wit's Treasury. Romeo and Juliet was an instant success. Many other writers followed in praise of Shakespeare as the poet of the heart-robbing line. The play was performed in 3 theaters at the same time: the Theatre, owned by Richard Burbage, the Curtain, and the Rose, very much as it is portrayed in the film Shakespeare in Love. All this success allowed Shakespeare to buy a share in the Chamberlain's Men, the acting company which Shakespeare worked for as actor and playwright. Records show that the troupe performed at court before the Queen at Christmas in 1594. By getting a share of the profits of his plays, as well as his salary as player and poet, Shakespeare was now a respected and successful playwright. Ironically, for the man regarded as the greatest romantic poet of the Renaissance, very little is known about Shakespeare's own love life. We know that he was married in 1582 to Anne Hathaway, a woman 4 years older than himself, but nothing else definite. Scholars, writers, and filmmakers have sifted through Shakespeare's texts and created elaborate myths about the poet's romantic entanglements. Some say he had a mistress. Some say he had a secret affair and was forced to marry Anne because she was pregnant. Even more fantastic, some scholars suggest that Shakespeare had an illicit love triangle between the so-called Dark Lady and his male patron, the Earl of Southampton. Perhaps this scarcity of facts is just what Shakespeare would have wanted. He was a man with fantastic imagination and would look all his life for good stories. Keeping his own life a secret only allows us to weave Shakespeare himself into new, exciting stories, making the man almost as mythical as his plays.